I'm Benjamin Hall, Fox News correspondent and New York Times best-selling author. Join me for my brand new podcast, Searching for Heroes. Make sure you subscribe to this series wherever you download podcasts and leave a rating and review.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. Then today's episode. So, I think I've talked on stuff like this before. And it wasn't until recent stuff where it had me thinking about it again. And before I feel like after today, because today I had to say I had one of the most overthinking experiences I think I've had in a long time. So pretty much just to start away from the beginning. So I went out on a long exercise today. I was jogging and walking 8 miles. And oh my God, bro, I was tired. I was tired. I don't think I've ever have worked myself out that much. Actually, it was roughly the same. I usually do 5 miles, but no, for today I was no, I had to do 8 miles. There's a reason for it, it was my goal and stuff. So anyways, but on that time I was exercising, I was sitting down just overall sitting down. I was walking and just overall thinking about my life and thinking about the stuff I've done. And here's the thing, everybody, this is what I want to overall start off with, is that everybody makes mistakes. Some may be bigger than others, some may be smaller than others, but everybody in this world makes mistakes. Now, you can make up for those mistakes or live with them, but the best option that you have is make up for them. Even if you think that you can't, even if you think that it's impossible, you have to. There's a lot of people in this world where they think that, the mistakes that they've overall made is unforgivable. But here's the thing, there's so many people in this world where they have forgiven others for some crazy stuff. I'm saying for some crazy stuff. And the thing is I know when I was outside exercising, I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking ain't no way possible I could be forgiven for the stuff that I've done. So the best way to live with it is to accept the karma that's coming towards you. Any bad things that happens, you gotta accept that stuff. So there's stuff that I've done and I feel like I'm, it's hunting me, today. And I'm hey, I made mistakes and I gotta live with that stuff, and the best thing that I can is to, overall, and it's crazy because I seen a tweet and it was overall talking on being a decent, human and stuff. And I'm hey, seeing that tweet, that was a sign. I felt that this is what I need to be. And that's just overall be a decent human being. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to be the greatest. And at some point in time, people, maybe I shouldn't say something along those lines. I was about to say, people are going to forget about me and stuff. But I at least, that's what I guess what I want to do is to be able to, leave a mark in territory where I, have helped out people and stuff. So that's, I'm going to say that instead of oh yeah, people going to forget who I am and stuff. Most likely. And that's why overall I wanted to talk on is, just overall, people, people forgetting about you, people ignoring you, people leaving you on scene, red, whatever they call it. All that stuff. I wanted to talk on that just overall, and I guess gaining people's approval, more so being accepted by others, trying to, I guess, get, people's attention. And here's the thing, if you don't get people's attention, you're either doing something wrong or you're around the wrong people. And that's the thing where it's like, you should be able to do whatever you want to do. So that just only leaves you with one option, is that you're around the wrong people. Now, if you're doing things that's messed up, then okay, then there you go. Like, like I said, it's all about being a decent human. That's why I started the episode off the way I did, because I'm like, hey, you guys need to start, or just, overall just be a better person. And I'm getting distracted by wrestling right now. I should have waited to do this episode. But and it's like they're not even showing anything. They're literally just showing a dude's entrance. But the guy that they're showing, he's from Washington, so I don't know. All right, but anyways, but no, like, yeah, you just overall gotta be a decent human. So it's like, doing things that's wrong and then expecting to gain something good from it. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Like, yeah, you're doing something wrong and it may seem good at the time. It's not. It's not gonna be good. It's, there's going to be a long-term effect from it, and it's not going to be good at all. So that's why, like, I'm telling people, it's like, be a better person, and you don't have to, like, I guess, if you are a good person, you wouldn't necessarily have to worry about gaining people's approval and stuff. Like me, my thing is, like, I want to help out the world. I want to give people, like, because I struggle with finding happiness, so I try to, if I see other people, dealing with their issues and they're struggling to find happiness, I guess I try to be that person to where, they find some sort of, like, happiness. They experience happiness, even if they haven't experienced it for a long time. Like, I try to be that person to, I guess make them feel good and stuff. So, anyways, and it's overall just like words of encouragement, advice on life, all that stuff. But yeah, it's like, then that's another thing I sit down and think about. I overthink a lot, like I feel like this episode is just gonna be another one of those, like, just like mind, like whatever I'm thinking, I'm just gonna say it and stuff. But no, like, that's one thing where it's all like, I'm gonna live my whole life and not being able to help out everybody. So I guess, like, that's one of the main reasons why I'm doing as much as I can with content, podcast episodes, like YouTube streaming, TikTok, all that stuff, all content creating related stuff. I try to put out as much as I can. So I'm like, okay, if a person needs a laugh, if they need some motivation, whatever it is, hey, I got you guys. So, but no, like, getting back on, like, being accepted by others. And so the reason why I'm even doing this episode in the first place is because, yeah, just recently, there was a person I thought I was close friends with. And, yeah, they was just, like, overall, like, ignoring every message and, that I've sent them, like, from messages, like, anything possible that I'm sending this person, ignoring it all. I don't know if I did something wrong. I don't know what it is. I'm like, I could sit here and overthink about the whole situation, but at the end of the day, and this is honestly the best advice that I can give to anybody that's dealing with stuff like this, let it go. As hard as it may seem, you gotta let it go. If that person, my thing is this, if that person doesn't want to be involved in your life, then there's most likely a reason behind it. Maybe it's with them, maybe it's with you, but at the end of the day, you should not stress yourself out because somebody doesn't want to be a part of your life. And I feel like with me, it's like, I feel like that's why I've had so much stress in my life, is because I'm worried about what others think. And I feel like there should be a line with it. I feel like that a person should always have, like, an outer field, around them. Like, don't, like, not close yourself in, but put yourself in a tight spot where, like, you're confined and stuff. Like, no, like, have space around you. Just have, like a shield, or, but just, like, I guess, like, something that can, like, just take all that in. So, like, and then, you just, like, kind of like, as silly as it may sound, but kind of like that Black Panther suit, where it's like, it is absorbed the damage and stuff, and then it just exploded. So I'm like, I feel like, even though that's just some silly stuff, but I'm like, nah, like, that's honestly, at the end of the day, what a person needs and stuff. They just need something to where it, like, it just, like, it ain't affecting you, but it's, you, like, just getting rid of some stuff, just getting rid of all, like, that, anger and, just all that tension and all that stuff. But yeah, I recently had dealt with some stuff like that, and yeah, overall, I'm like, hey, I really don't know what the future holds for me. I don't know whether me and this person is going to ever talk again. I don't know if that, the last conversation we ever had is the last conversation we will ever have. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm like, I just got to focus on myself. I got to focus on content creating. I got to focus. And that's, I guess, like, a part of me is like starting to realize where it's like, there was that time where the one thing that was on my mind frequently was the hate that I was getting on YouTube and how much time it wasted. And I feel like I'm right back in the same situation where I'm, like now I got this stuff on my mind where it's like I'm trying to be, accepted by others. And this is something where it's like I had it like bottled up for so long to where I just didn't know how to overall like manage it and stuff. And I just kept it like just pushed off to the side. And I'm like, I remember I dealt with that stuff a lot when I was a kid. It's like I had some of my earliest memories. I remember like trying to be, I guess cooler with some of the big kids and stuff. And yeah, they ain't want nothing to do with me. It's like, of course, I'm a small kid. I'm like, I don't know any better in things. And I'm like, and I sit down and I think about that. And I'm like, part of me is all like, dang, like, what did I ever do to them kids, But then as I get older, it's, where, like I said, I had just kept that stuff, like, pushed off to the side. But it wasn't up until, like, dealing with, like, recent situations like this where I'm like, like, that stuff is, like, it seems very similar. It's different in a way, but it seems similar at the same time. I'm like, that's just, that's weird. But yeah, I'm like, I just remember like as a kid, and I guess like a part of me is just like, I didn't realize I was doing what I was doing back when I was a kid. And that's just, pushing that stuff off to the side. Like, I'm like, all right, if that person don't want to be bothered with me, I'll find other people to be bothered with me. But, I'm not going to let this. But no, there was a time though where it's like, I think I remember where it did just get to me, so badly when I was a kid. And it's crazy because I was like, it's like the same. I feel like a lot of the stuff I experienced as a child, I am just experiencing an adult version of it and stuff. I think I talked on about that in the previous episode. But yeah, I'm like, I dealt with like a lot of the stuff I dealt with as a kid. I'm like, no, I'm experiencing all that stuff all over again because like the whole situation that broke me down in 2020. I'm like, I remember dealing with a similar situation like that when I was a kid. And it was just over some silly stuff. But I remember just breaking down over it because I'm all like, hey, yo, what is wrong with me? So, and that's why I'm like, I want to tell people it's like altering who you are, whether it's physically or mentally, at the end of the day, like you are you. You shouldn't have to change who you are because other people, they're not accepting who you are at the moment. If they're not accepting you at the moment, that is on them. But you should not have to change who you are as a person because of other people. Other people ain't living with you 24/7. The fact that you live with yourself 24/7, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but the fact that you do that, like, it shows like you are at that point where you are accepting of yourself, where it's like you could go to sleep and wake up and it's not something that others are telling you to change. Like, if you want to change for yourself, then that's one thing. But if you're wanting to change for other people, then it's like, fam, why? Like I've talked on that. I've talked on that in different scenarios and situations, whether it's, if it's some content creating related, or if it's anything else, or even it's all, you wanting to get surgery, or you wanting to lose weight or gain muscle, or, like whatever it is, like that should be because you want to do it, not because other people. So I'm saying, like, if somebody is like, oh, I only like guys or girls with muscles or whatever, you shouldn't have to start hitting the gym crazy so you could get this person's approval. You're over stressing yourself out because you're trying to figure out, like, well, how do I gain? It's like nothing's working, nothing's falling in my favor. And no, don't do stuff like that. You hit the gym because you want to hit the gym. Like me, for an example, I'm exercising and working out because I want to do this. This is something I've been wanting to do ever since I was a kid. So I'm all like, always just, exercise. I grew up on exercising and stuff. That was my punishment as a kid from my dad. I get in trouble. My dad had me do 20 push-ups, and I'm all like, dang, man. I'm like, I can't do it no more. My arms are tired. But nah, man, it's like, it's just always something that I've always, that I do. And so I'm like, overall, like, I just won't change who I am as a person for somebody else's for somebody else's approval and stuff. And at one point in time, I was thinking along those lines. I was thinking, because I remember with that the one girl that was like the whole situation and stuff from 2020. That was one thing that I do remember was I was like, I think I brought that up to her where I was like, I wanted to get dreads. This was like years ago and stuff. And how she was all like, she said no, she don't like guys with dreads and stuff. And I was sitting there thinking like, all right, well, I overall like this girl, so of course I'm gonna listen to what she said. But I'm thinking in my head like, if I would have known then what I know now, fam, I would have had me some silky smooth dreads wrapped up in a freaking ponytail. I've been dreaded up, okay? If I would have known then what I know now. Because I'm like, okay, well, I knew nothing of that situation was going to happen, but I'm like, I'm changing who I am. It got to a point where I was contemplating on quitting content creating, thinking that she didn't like content creators and stuff. And I'm like, bro, it was a lot that was running through my head. And I'm like, that stuff is not healthy for you. It is not under any circumstances. So that's why I tell people, I'm like, don't change who you are for anybody else. Like, I mean that. Like, no, be yourself. If they won't accept you, then that's on them. But you shouldn't have to change who you are for other people's approval and stuff. So, but anyways, and that being said, I feel like there's more I could have said, but I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I'm trying to think of some other things to say, but I feel like I've talked on everything I need to talk on. So, but anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast sharing service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 43 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. And make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you're purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. And then that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.